Hello everyone, welcome back to the next episode of the Autism and Doctor Who series. Today I'm joined with Bethany, and today we're just be talking about Crohn's and Doctor Who. So yeah, thanks Bethany for joining me and coming on.
Of course.
Yeah, so would you like to just say a little bit about yourself, just a little introduction?
Yeah, I've been working since I was 18. I like to hike, I like to read, I like to watch movies. I love movies and film and TV shows and all that. You know, I used to be acting and I did a little bit of modeling for a bit in the past, but I gave all that up because in my area, there's not really a good way to advance in that field. If you get me, there's not a lot of like good opportunities. Mostly they're scams, because even though it was a legit company I was working for, they ended up taking our tips and stuff, and we barely made any money, and it just wasn't worth it to me because I was like, this is not going to get me anywhere, so I just keep doing it for fun. And if I really wanted to pursue it, I'd probably move out to LA. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, yeah, I grew up, and then my brother, when he was around 17, we found out he had Crohn's because he had a flare up real bad and he had to go to the hospital and he almost died. Yeah, he's doing real well now.
Yeah.
He was in a film his girlfriend made at their college, and he starred in it. She made a short film. So he's doing a lot better, and he's getting through school and everything. And it's because of the injections and the infusions, Remicade, that he's getting.
Yeah.
They had to up the dosage because he had another flare up later on after he first started taking it, because it wasn't really high enough dosage, I guess, to stop the flare-ups. Well, basically he got a really bad sickness. It was called C. diff.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he ended up in the hospital and he almost died then too.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they haven't had to take any of his intestines out yet, but who knows in the future.
You never know with Crohn's, do you? Because I was actually diagnosed pretty similar age to your brother. And yeah, it can, I suppose the diagnosis stage can be really hard, can't it? Especially if you don't know what Crohn's is and everything.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good that he was in a film, like at college though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And he hasn't had any more flare-ups in like a couple years now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since they upped the dosage.
Yeah. So does he go on
He's kind of suppressed his immune system well enough that hasn't happened. And I believe he actually had COVID at one point, but he was able to recover and he didn't get a bad flare up, even though he had COVID.
Yeah.
Which might cause it, I don't know. But he didn't get anything, so he was okay.
Pretty scary for COVID though, because I think, if I'm not wrong, you have to not be on any medication, or I think if you've got COVID. So yeah, as well dampens your immune system as well, doesn't it? While having Crohn's anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's doing all right now.
Most immune suppressed people are fine with COVID, but sometimes they're not. Like I saw this woman, she's immunosuppressed, and she had to be in the ICU for 3 months because of COVID. Like it's different. Like my brother, he didn't have that happen to him, but she did. And then she ended up having no antibodies whatsoever after that, because her immune system was so weakened and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Because it's very unpredictable.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going to happen to someone, won't happen to someone else.
Right. You don't know when a flare could be or what could cause it. Like even I know he's on medication, but you never know every day,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
something could potentially cause it.
Yeah. It's scary to go onto a new medication as well, because you feel like you've done really well on this medication. If some little thing maybe goes wrong, you have to move on, and it's scary because you just want something to work, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't know if the next one will work,
No.
and it's just a waiting game
No. Then you
to see
come.
if it's working.
Yeah, and you become used to going to the hospital quite often as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like when I was diagnosed, I did drama as well, and I missed it. But I played like a multi-role character at the school and stuff, so I did all that, but it was really hard because I lost a lot of weight when I in the process of getting diagnosed and couldn't eat and
Oh, yeah.
putting all these different sort of medications, which is scary because was that the first time when your brother got it? Was that the first time you kind of heard about Crohn's?
No, I'd heard of it before.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't recall if I was familiar with what it caused before or not. I can't remember. I might have been, but it's been a while since he's had Crohn's.
Yeah, yeah, it does seem quite a while away, doesn't it? Well,
Or since he was diagnosed, because he had it his whole life. We just didn't know because
okay.
his stomach would always bother him, when he ate certain things or yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I do think that
He wasn't one to tell us either. Like, he wouldn't speak up and say, well, I feel bad or something. He just assumed it was normal that people's stomachs just bothered them like that. But yeah,
okay.
which is understandable. I mean, because you feel like everything that happens to you is normal, right? You
Yeah,
never think that it could be something.
yeah, yeah. It probably got at a stage where it was really, really painful, to where you had to speak to someone about it.
Right. When he had a really bad flare. He had to have had flares in the past. He just didn't know what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
thought he just was sick or something.
yeah. That's what I thought to start with. Like, it wasn't obviously
Because
that
he
bad.
had this. He had to have had it like for a while, they said. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it probably does, doesn't it? It probably grows on you as you get older. But and
Yeah.
then it gets worse.
Well, it's a problem with your immune system not working right. It's overactive.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It would be
you don't
nice.
know
Um,
if you have it
no, no, it's
unless it's dire. You're in a bad position with it.
yeah. I
You end
think
up going to the hospital because how they had to find it out was they had to like do a colonoscopy,
yeah,
in the hospital.
yeah, I was the same.
Yeah, because they didn't know what was going on and they had to find out. So they had to do that really fast because he was losing a lot of blood. And when they found out, they were able to diagnose him and finally get him treatment. And then they could give him blood after the fact.
Okay. Yeah, it's really interesting because I got diagnosed the same way. I think I know lost the P in the it would have been October 2017. When I got diagnosed, and I would have needed surgery as well. So it's hard. You have to push to get appointments and everything because I suppose they don't take you as seriously. But and then like you say, you kind of think it's like a sickness bug to start with, and then gradually gets worse, and then
Mm-hmm.
a point in your life you become stable, I suppose, and then you just never know what's going to happen.
Right. You don't know if there's something wrong with you until it gets worse and worse. Like most people don't know they have cancer until it's gotten to the point where they're showing physical signs. And that's the point where it's probably past care at that point. Like, I mean, you can try and it might work, but you're probably at the higher stages at that point.
Yeah, that's why your immune system becomes immunosuppressive, because you take like drugs that cancer patients do as well. There's no kind of set drugs that a
Well,
Crohn
you have no
patients
choice.
take.
You have to suppress your immune system, because if you don't, you're going to constantly be having flares, and you don't want to have to deal with that all the time, you know?
Yeah. I think when you're on all these medications, though, there comes a point where you hope that, like, because it can happen if you're on these medications a while, and then that they say you can maybe come off it if you're doing really well, and see what it's like. But I think that's always the aim with me, like, not to be on any medication, because especially during COVID, it's even worse, isn't it? Like, always having to be cautious.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good that it's good to hear your brother's doing all right at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing okay now.
Yeah. How old is he at the moment? Like now?
He's 21.
Okay. So a year older than me. So we must have got diagnosed similar to them. If he was 17.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's because we didn't know that before we was doing this, did we, Bethany? We didn't know like, you didn't know I had Crohn's. I didn't know your brother had Crohn's, so it's really interesting.
Right.
Yeah, because we just know each other from doing videos. So, I mean, yeah. So
yeah. So who is your favorite doctor?
My favorite doctor, it's got to be I started watching it from Christopher Eccleston, so I don't, in my mind, I don't count the older doctors before now, because I didn't watch them. But it's got to be David Tennant for me, and that's probably because I grew up watching him, and Christopher Eccleston too. But I had to pick one, it would be
right. And he was in Harry Potter and all this other stuff.
Yeah, it was. He's good in everything he's in.
He really is.
Yeah. But I don't know so much. I know Christopher Eccleston was in a series called The A Word, but I don't really know much of him other than Doctor Who, really. But David Tennant for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine is probably Matt Smith. He's just so quirky and funny, and he's like almost like David Tennant, but not like him, you know.
Yes.
He's different.
Yeah, I was actually quite sad when David Tennant left.
And he had a lot that happened in his seasons. Like, his seasons were really good. Like, I'm not saying David Tennant's weren't. They were really good too, but so was Matt Smith's.
Yeah.
And I just prefer him a little bit more over David.
Yeah.
Not much.
Top two though. I'm always saying they are the top two doctors, David and Matt.
Right.
Yeah, because
Peter was good too, and so was Christopher.
Yeah.
I just, only thing I wish Christopher had at least one more season. I feel like he deserved at least 2 seasons, because all the other doctors got at least like 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah. Yes. It's a shame that like he fell out with the people there, really. But his season was really good though. All the episodes he was in.
Yeah. I would have loved to see more of that, but
yeah.
I cried when he turned into David, because I was like, no, you know, I was like, not now. You haven't been here long enough.
Oh, he was perfect, right? He was my first Doctor, and I always remember. I've probably watched the first episode.
But he was the Doctor after the War Doctor. So
yeah, I did like the War Doctor.
I only watched a little bit of the older seasons, because mostly I couldn't find them anywhere.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
I can't find them in stores. I can't find them online. I can't find them anywhere.
Yeah, it is hard to watch, but in a way, I do get, like, people say you should watch them and stuff, and then I just say I would, but
I'll find like clips of them though and watch those. Like,
yeah, I watched couple of clips. I know people that have already watched up from the second Doctor onwards, but it's I much rather look for the future, not to the past, because they're not probably going to turn up again. Maybe those old ones.
Right. They're probably passed on at this point.
Yeah.
Most of the characters in the
and most of them
old
now you can't
seasons.
recognize, like, from what they looked like when they was the Doctor. They look much different nowadays.
Right, and it was completely different making film back in the day and versus now. They're
Yeah.
so much more advanced, and it's not the same at all as it
Yeah.
was before, because they had to go on props and costumes before. That's all they had. They didn't have CGI. They didn't have all this fancy editing things where they make it look so high def.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
Which was kind of good and bad.
They didn't.
I wish they'd kind of go. I kind of wish they'd go back to some costumes and stuff, because all the CGI is making things look unreal, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look realistic, and it's like, well, no, I just know I'm watching a movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something. Yeah, like it'd be nice to maybe just go back and be like the old days.
Yeah, I think that's why now I prefer books over movies, because it's more real. Like, you can feel yourself as you're in the story.
Yeah.
Whereas things are so high def and so like 4K in the TV now, it's like it looks fake, and it doesn't feel like you could actually be there, you know. And like, shows used to make you feel like that, and I just feel like they just lack writing, lack everything today. Creativity. It's like, oh, just hire an editor. Just make him put all that stuff in there. We're not gonna put effort and time. And we'd rather spend a bunch of money on that than put the time into it to make it actually better and realistic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that's
People
been
value
lacking.
time over money. You know, that's what I find most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like people need to be like really want to do that role, don't they? Regardless of how much they get paid.
Right.
Because you've got to just enjoy it, haven't you? Like what you're doing and stuff. But yeah, like with Doctor Who, it's like you speaking about the writing. It hasn't been very good writing for a while, and the writing's very key, isn't it, to like
Right.
getting into.
And if you don't have good writing, you can't have good characters. You know, you can't have good plot lines. Everything lacks.
Yeah. But
It's all about the writing. All you got to do is get you a good writer.
Yeah, and I think that's why they decided to bring Russell T Davies back, didn't they? For now, because it's been lacking, and ever since he was there, and Stephen Moffat,
the whole timeless child thing. I'm sorry, but that really weirded me out, and I'm like, this is not Doctor Who. This is not. It's not Doctor Who. It's not what it's been for all these years. You know, it makes no sense, because he was always a male in the past. How would he be some girl? I just wish he could die, because that's the whole point, is to be able to know when he died. And then you find out that it never happens. Like,
yeah,
it's
like everything, isn't it? Like
they were always saying in the earlier seasons, oh yeah, this is going to be when the Doctor dies, and you'd be like, oh, you know, when is he going to die? I'm like, oh no, is it going to be now? And now he can't die, and it's like, or she, or whatever it is, alien.
Yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it? Like Doctor Who, you just.
But why choose to look like us?
Yeah.
Or why do they look like us if they're aliens?
Yeah, they could just turn into anything, couldn't they? doesn't have to be human.
Like, why do aliens always have to look like humans? You know?
I suppose because it might be much harder to dress up every time for something not human, but it would be more interesting. I think more people will watch it.
Right.
But with Doctor Who, I think like you think it's going to go on for a long time, but and then you think to yourself, how many doctors is there going to be? Like, are you going to continue
An
calling them?
infinity amount of
Yeah.
doctors, apparently.
Yeah, because like this is the first episode of the series, Bethany, where
I don't ever see an ending anymore, and it's like before you could see a possible ending, and it's like now it's just mindless.
Yeah.
There's no point to it anymore, almost.
Yeah, because you kind of know what's going to happen, don't you? You know the process. You know a Doctor incarnation will probably last 3 seasons and go, because that's how it's been for the last.
13 should have been the last, because there's only 13 regenerations, right? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think the I think it was Matt Smith wasn't he due to be the last when his regeneration was there?
Not sure.
But it would have been good to end it like how Peter Capaldi went, because he had no one, did he? Like, he had no companion at the time.
Right. He seemed like the one that would, like, he was more serious and all that. He seemed like the one that would be the one to end it. Like, he'd do something radical, get out of like crazy, and then he'd end up getting himself in a position where he died or something, or where he had to go to another universe and live out the rest of his existence or whatever. I don't know. Something could have happened.
Yeah.
It just seems like there's no end anymore that I can see.
Yeah.
And I like endings. Endings are my favorite part, honestly, of any show.
Yeah, because
beginnings
that's what you look
and
forward
endings.
to. That's what you look forward to, don't you? Like, if you're watching, like, for example, series on Netflix, you look forward to.
I don't mind that shows have to end or movies have to end. You know, I don't understand people that do mind and want it to go on forever and ever. You know, I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I suppose for a show that's been going probably one of the longest shows in Doctor Who for a long time, they think.
But they decided to reboot it, so.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
This wasn't really a continuation of the last show. It was a whole new show that was like a reboot of the last show. It was not a continuation of that show.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I didn't watch that, but I know from, I think they just walked off or something like that, and then they had that movie.
They did make it where you could start on this series and understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it was. Yeah, it was.
The thing is, like, today's the first episode of to know who the next Doctor is, the 40th Doctor. But through that, even before the announcement, I saw, and I still think that if the next series or next series don't work out, that could possibly be the end of Doctor Who, in my opinion.
Well, then I might actually watch it all if they actually decide to have an ending.
Yeah, because
I might actually catch up on it.
Yeah, because
for now, if they're not ending it, I'm not gonna watch it because I don't know what's gonna happen in the show. I want to know before I watch it. I don't know.
When did you last watch it?
Peter was the last season.
Okay. Yeah, and
then I saw a few episodes of Jodie, and I thought she did not do well. And I know she didn't watch any of Doctor Who beforehand. She was told not to, but I would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an excuse. You could have watched it prior to auditioning.
Yeah, yeah. And like
Before all of this, like years ago, you could have been watching the show.
yeah, yeah. With Jodie, I do like some of the episodes. It's not her fault in a whole because of the
I
writing.
don't know what made her want to come on Doctor Who.
I think, but with this new Doctor, the new one that has been announced today, actually, prior of this recording, he's watched Doctor Who. He's a fan, and like from what I see, and like I saw an interview in saying that he's been excited, and he's known since February, and he's had to hold it in, and I think I've watched him in something before, and he's very funny, and like we're back to a man again, which I don't have no problem if it's a man or woman, but
right, me neither. I just don't like her. I don't think she does it well.
No, and I think it's the music as well in a way, because we lost Murray Gold after Peter Capaldi last series, and it all changed, and hopefully the music is back, some sort of good music anyway. Because I think music is a big part, not just a show.
Yeah,
just,
and like the
life.
interesting storylines of what was going to happen with the Doctor, and like all these questions. And now there's no questions, I feel like, because we just know it's pointless now.
No.
We know our questions will never be answered.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing over and over. Oh, we wanted to know the Doctor's name. Never found that out.
No, it's annoying, like because there's so many stories, and it's like that have been answered.
There was supposed to be something that happened if you found out his name, and then nothing ever happened. It was a dead-end plot line. So many of those. They just let the plot lines dead end into nothing.
Yeah.
That was my main issue.
Yeah, because what they should be doing is, like David's season, like Matt's seasons, you would have a really good cliffhanger at the end, and throughout that season you would know like what the whole plot was for the whole series, and know by the end.
My problem was I got really frustrated with never having any questions answered. None.
Yeah.
And then this whole timeless child thing was because they're like, fine, we'll make an answer. But I feel like they rushed it and they didn't think about it like all the way through.
Yeah. Lots of really complicated things. And
that was pretty much the only plot line that ever got an ending. With an answer.
Yeah, and it's not a very good answer.
Not really.
No.
I feel like they don't even know the answers.
It's just
at this point.
They forgot.
They might have had an idea, but then they changed writers so many times. If they had an idea, we don't even know what it is now.
Yeah.
Or we won't ever.
You could just keep the same
because it could have been an idea the writers had that were the writers earlier in the show.
Yeah.
They might have known what it was, but then they left because it just kept dragging out and whatnot. Then they decided to go on to different things because, hey, they can do that. It's their career, you know?
Yeah. Like a Doctor could easily last a long time. It doesn't have to be 3 seasons. It could be long time. Because I think Tom Baker did about 7, if I'm correct, when he was Doctor years ago. But I think they just do 3 seasons each. But yes,
at least they don't abuse the people on the show, because there's certain shows that they did abuse the people on the shows, like some directors and stuff. But I haven't heard anything from Doctor Who, which is good.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. That's a positive thing about it.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah, because it's all. That's what I fear when an announcement is made for any Doctor Who is Doctor on Doctor Who, or any person that is going to be in Doctor Who, because you know people are going to be say good things, say bad things, and then you think more people will watch it if you just wait waiting near enough it's going to be like a regeneration or whatever. And then more people watch it, you have more viewers.
I don't mind if it's a woman, if it's well written and she actually knows what she's doing and she actually knows the characters and she's watched the show, you know, and she's an actual fan, not some random actress off the street that doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah, because
you can't really understand who the Doctor is without having watched at least some of it, like a few seasons at least.
I think what they'd mean to do, though, if an actor hasn't watched it, I think because they don't, because you want to make the Doctor your own person, don't you? You don't want to be a different, like, follow off from another actor that's on Doctor Who.
Right, because it's supposed to be the same person, and I felt like she was so far off from who the Doctor was.
Yeah.
Before.
Yes,
you know.
sometimes because of the bad writing, I thought
some of it,
Walsh.
Not all of it. You can tell. You can tell some of it's her.
Yeah. And but for sometimes it's more like because Bradley Walsh, who played Graham when he was in it, he at times it's more like he was a doctor. Like being the Doctor character, and it shouldn't be like that. Like when you watch David Tennant,
right,
you know who the Doctor is because how powerful they are, how dedicated they are.
He's the leader. He's the strong-spoken one. He's the one that makes decisions. You know, all of that.
Yeah, and why to you is Matt Smith your favorite one? What makes him that good?
Because he's all of what I said.
Yeah, he's that leader.
Yep.
And you need to be a leader in Doctor Who, don't you? In any role, because for example, another show that's ending. Doctor Who's not ending, but well, you know what I mean. The Walking Dead is ending, and that's been on for so long as well. Been going years. And
I quit watching that too.
Yeah.
I honestly quit watching every single show. I've never watched a show all the way through, I don't think, except for The 100.
Okay.
Because the only one I don't even know how I got through it because it got repetitive after a while, same kind of thing. But then I think the last season is what was got me huh? This is different.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, they actually changed it up a bit. And so that was what kept me going, was that they did change it up when they needed to.
Yeah, I think that's what they need to do.
Because at the end of the season before that, I was kind of like, well, I don't know if I want to keep watching this. I'll watch the first episode and I was like, okay, this is different. I like this. And they actually went back to kind of what the books were about on the last season.
Okay. Yeah. I think about the difference between a long series and a short one. You can easily watch the one series, and with the other long ones you have to wait probably a year for the next one, and you might forget what happened last. But the annoying part is for Jodie, because you don't have to watch any episodes of previous incarnations of the Doctor or previous episode. You can just probably watch the last one and it won't have mattered, which is annoying, because with Doctor Who you're always used to a follow-on story maybe from the last episode, or it happens, especially with David on Matt, there'll be flashbacks to another episodes and stuff. So that's the annoying part. I think they would probably make it more open, but because of that, the ratings reduce, which is just because of what's happening.
Yeah. And I feel like after Matt, the companions went downhill. It started with Clara.
Yeah, she went on for a lot while, didn't she?
Well, they made her seem like this impossible girl. But then when you got down to it, she wasn't actually that interesting.
Yeah, she she was in love with the Doctor, and then it changed her to an older man, and then I don't love the Doctor anymore. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice to see more like older people like as the Doctor,
Yeah.
because that, when you actually
Because
picture a
that's how
Doctor,
they used to do the show, they'd
yeah,
bring in an older guy
yeah, like
or an older person, like
yeah, yeah, like when you actually picture a Doctor in your head to anyone, you picture of an older guy, don't you? Or an older person, a Doctor. You don't picture
right.
a younger person, even though the younger Doctors have been great. Like Crystal Eccleston, like Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi more towards his last seasons, I think, was better. But yeah, like it's a guy. It's what you picture, but that's why they call it New Who, I suppose. They make it younger, don't they?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully you can start watching it if it gets better.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite companion?
My favorite there's actually probably, I gotta say, well, I grew up watching Rose, and then it's either Rose or Amy. They're my top two. What about you?
Yeah. Amy, all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just loved her love story. Was so interesting to me anyway. And the fact that I don't know why they made her go after the Doctor in the first episode. It didn't make any sense. It seemed out of character for her, but I guess because she was a kissogram, I don't know. But that was the only issue where I really had, was that after that she was fine. They fixed it. They fixed their writing, because I think it was dumb that they put that in there anyway. And they were like, okay, this was dumb. Let's not do this again. Because they always want to make like the Doctor desirable, and they want to make like you think, oh, well, every companion is going to want to be after the Doctor, but it doesn't always have to be that way. And I think that's when they figured that out.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's nice to have that kind of story, like where the companion likes the Doctor, but just
Where
put
they're
it,
best friends,
yeah,
not
yeah,
like interested. One's interested or whatever.
yeah.
Like how Martha was interested in him, but he wasn't interested in her. And then,
Yeah, like they
like you
know
don't
they
need to
can't.
do that every time with
No.
the story to make people watch it. You really don't.
Yeah, it was the same with
You
Clara a
just
little
have to
bit.
have good writing. Like I said at the first, good writing is all it takes.
Yeah, like good writing, not copying, which at the moment is known for.
Yeah, a
Like,
lot of those episodes I saw Jodie and it was just like, it reminded me of like the older seasons. I'm like, well, this is the same thing again. The
yeah,
same storyline over again. And
yeah.
it's like, didn't we already see this?
I think there needs to be like the future is bright, they say, with the new incarnation, which they need to focus on the future and not look in the past.
Yeah, I hope they do a woman again, but
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I hope they do it right this time.
What
The
they
next
need to
time
do.
they do.
What I think they should do, Bethany, because with it being about a man, I think to make it fair, or
Yeah, they should do it man and women.
yeah,
Make it seem like he can choose whatever he wants to be at any, whenever he
yeah,
regenerates.
yeah. Like it could be like a woman next time, and then back to a man. Kind of take it in turns maybe each time. So, like,
Right, because let's not just throw men completely out of shows and stuff and replace them with women, because that's not going to get people interested in watching the show. We can kind of take turns.
yeah, because like it's always been a man, which people are used to, but like with good writing, the girl can be just as good.
Oh yeah, definitely. If Jodie's writing had not sucked, she might have been decent at least.
Yeah. It's just the plot's really
She is
slow.
a beautiful woman. She's beautiful, but beautiful is all it is.
Yeah.
In the show, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think I'm like, she won't. I always remember. Well, everyone will remember her as the Doctor, as the first woman and stuff like that. But she won't be my favorite. I like every Doctor as it comes. Like, I'll still watch it if I don't like a Doctor, because I like the show, and that's part of doing.
I'm waiting to see if it gets any better.
Yeah.
So far, it hasn't.
If part of doing this series, like with autism, and saying at the beginning that links in with things you're interested in, and like I will always I watch Doctor Who, whatever. But yeah, I find lots of people of autism do like the show too, and that's why I decided to do this series, because having a podcast spoke to people about Crohn's, autism too, and like it's something I like to do, Bethany. And like as we said at the beginning, I was surprised that like you had a brother had Crohn's, so
right. And autism is missing social cues.
Yeah, that's it. And there's lots to talk about those two topics, and that's why autism brings up hobbies, and like I have my own blue box. Well, it's a shame it doesn't actually. It's not real. Well, and not real. Doesn't go in time, because it's just a wardrobe.
Is it real? You have a wardrobe?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's like a wardrobe. I had it for a while, since I was younger. Probably since David Tennant was the Doctor, to be fair.
Right.
But
all
yeah.
of my Doctor Who stuff got moved into the storage room when we moved. We moved at least 3 times last year.
Okay.
So everything's still, different places right now.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you sound like Amy, like it's all your Amy like stuff in the storage room as well.
Yeah. I think when I was young, Amy was really my role model, and Karen Gillan was so good at acting in that role. She was amazing, and I just knew she was going to go far after that.
Yeah, she's been in like the Avengers as well,
and she did, and she's in Marvel now.
Yeah,
that's like the most money you can make is in Marvel.
Yeah, because I believe she played Thor's daughter in Marvel, and she's been in what was it with The Rock, or
oh yeah,
I can't remember what it's called. Jumanji. Yeah, it was Jumanji she was in. But yeah, like it's like David Tennant, like Matt Smith, whatever they're in, they're good. Like
right.
Like with Matt Smith recently, he's in the House of Dragons, the Game of Thrones sequel. So that's good. Like
good for him.
Like he was in a kind of Marvel Morbius thing, but I haven't watched that.
I don't see Matt ever coming back to Doctor Who or Karen, because they've moved on to bigger and better things now.
Yeah. I think that's what happens when you're in Doctor Who. You have your time, and then you go.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
When they brought Rose back, I did not like it.
Yeah.
They brought back the Bad Wolf, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah, because that Bad Wolf
that was another dumb plot line they wrote in there.
Never know what it was either, did we? Bad Wolf. It was really confusing.
And that was before all of this.
Yeah.
Jodie and all this. That was another dumb plot line they wrote.
Imagine if they bring it back. Imagine series 14, Bad Wolf. They bring back that whole storyline.
Yeah. I liked how Rose ended, and I didn't feel like she needed to come back.
No, like it'd be weird
because I didn't feel like she can come back. She can't. She's in that other dimension.
Yeah, Yeah, she could have her
I
own
mean, you could
maybe
show
series.
like maybe how they're doing. I
Like,
don't see how she could ever come back though,
not
because
not
that wouldn't
not
be
in Doctor
good
Who,
writing either.
not in Doctor Who, but that, like if they made maybe like maybe a mini series or something, you know, like they do with like
Yes, like a
Marvel and stuff.
spin-off, like
Yeah,
they did with Torchwood.
yeah. Like just because David Tennant could easily come back to that, but not as the Doctor. Because he came back as like he had the human self, didn't he? And with Rose in the parallel world. Um, so if that happened, that'd be fine. I would love to see that.
Right.
But
I think it would be interesting to see her dad again and Mickey and
yeah,
Martha even and
yeah, Martha,
her and how he's doing his other half.
yeah,
Weird. See
it's just
how they live, whatever, and their adventures.
yeah,
I think
like
that would be interesting.
I think the only chance for maybe like with Amy and Rory,
A spin-off. I don't think
yeah,
they should come up back.
yeah, spin off as well with like Amy and Rory, like seeing what happened after they left, like into the Angel. Like, did they
I
survive?
don't find that their life would be that interesting.
Yeah,
I don't find it. Like, I think it would just be them living in a house. Maybe have
yeah,
some kids.
yeah. That,
Eventually, if she could ever get herself fixed,
yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
I don't find their life would be any bit interesting without the doctor.
No,
I mean, it wasn't really before. I mean, yeah, she had that weird thing with her house, but that was fixed. And she would have moved into a whole different house anyway if they had gotten married and stuff. And I just don't think anything else would have happened from there. It kind of ended exactly how I wanted it to end. And I didn't want them to come back. I'm happy that they lived out their life and we saw they lived their life and they grew old and they died. That's how life is. And we move on.
yeah, and the Doctor doesn't. The Doctor lives. But I think in the new series that would be nice, like you said about that the companions is bringing more iconic companions into the show, rather than going, like we said, going into the past and bringing past companions back. Be good for new kind of companions to come back, or not come back, be made.
I don't want Amy to come back.
No, I don't want any of the companions to come
I
back.
don't want any
Just
of the
new ones.
companions to come back, honestly.
Yeah, just new ones.
Yeah. Just figure out how to write good new characters into the show and you'll be set. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, because that's why we see former companions
We
come
want
back.
new people. We want to see them. We want to see what's going on in somebody else's life when they meet the doctor. You know, we want to see that change. We want to see it shift into something different. That's how he is. He moves on. He doesn't stay with one person. He never does. He never has. That's not who the doctor is. So we need to continue that.
Yeah. Yeah, we just need to have good new stories, have new good everything. Really.
Yeah.
Like
Pick the right actress this time. And the next time, whenever they decide to do a female doctor again.
yeah, like I have
and pick the right writers. That too. I just think they went in the whole wrong direction this last few seasons. They just decided to go way off from anything that the show used to be. Tried something new, but it didn't work out, so let's go back.
Although
new worked.
Although like there was quite a lot of no's, but there were good things with part of these few seasons, like with Doctor Who raising awareness of dyspraxia, for example, which a companion had. That was one of the good things that they did. But I'd like to see more of that, like raising awareness of different things in life.
I think they did really well on was the Master.
Yeah, the Master's great.
Female. Now they did it right then, but they did not do it right with Jodie. I don't know how they changed.
Yeah, that was odd because the Master, or the Missy one, she's
actually an amazing actress, and that I feel like that's a lot of it.
Do you know like the current master has got Crohn's, like Sasha Dewan? He has Crohn's too.
Oh, the man
Yeah,
that showed up and he
yeah.
took off the thing and he was
Jodie's
the
ones, yeah.
master. He was it was
Yeah.
something Rim.
John Sim.
John Sim. Oh yeah, not Rim, Sim. I was getting it mixed up. Yeah, John Sim.
Yeah. But the one that has Crohn's, I mean, is the one currently with Jodie. Sasha Dewan, his name is, and I didn't know that until like a season or two in. Which is why in a way I like seeing him. He's my favourite character within the new few seasons because he has Crohn's and he's an ambassador.
I might start watching with the new Doctor because it seems like they're going back, like they're trying to go back to what they were before.
Yeah,
like doing it the right way, like changing people the right way, like they're picking the right people for the job this time.
Yeah, yeah. Have you watched Sex Education on Netflix?
I'm sorry now.
Sex Education. It's like a series on Netflix. Well, the
I've
new
watched
Doctor.
it some.
Okay. Well, the new Doctor plays Eric on that show, and that's who it is.
Okay.
And yeah,
is he in a later season? I don't recall.
Oh, he's on everyone. You can even watch the first episode. He'd be there.
I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah, and to anyone who's listening and watching, watch that and you'll see a little bit about him. It's the only thing I know him from. But yeah, like seeing his interviews today and personally getting a bit disappointed. Not because I don't like him. I love him, but the reason I didn't want to know because I'd rather wait until the actual announcement or closer to regeneration because that would be more surprised. And Doctor Who doesn't like surprises about lots of things. But I suppose because they know since February, probably long enough for them. But
right.
But yeah, I announced it at like the BAFTA awards over in the UK. But yeah, like it'd be good to start watching it again, like to get excited as well each week, like we were used to, like when we were younger.
Yeah, I used to get so excited and see the TV and be like, "Oh, it's Doctor Who! What's going on?"
Yeah, Doctor Who, be quiet, be quiet.
Yeah, be quiet. Everybody leave the room.
But nowadays, you're not so fussed about people going be quiet. You can talk over it. Turn your phone off. Well, we used to say to turn your phone off. You don't want to get any spoilers.
Right. Nobody else watched it in my family except me. Okay. So I had to tell them to leave the room because they'd be talking or, trying to distract me or something. And I'd be like, no, it's my time to watch it. Just let me be for this time. It's one episode.
I would always try and watch it on time. But if it's not on time, I think it's just good because you can watch it on record and stuff. And like the things that I want to be brought back, the things that need to be brought back from the next series are the Christmas specials. Being back on the Saturday, I just prefer it because they changed it here in the UK to a Sunday, to when it was aired. And Saturdays, why change it? Keep it on the Saturday. So those are the certain things that need to be changed back. And like we said before, the music, if we have good music, not great. Seasons need to be longer as well.
Right.
So yeah, I suppose lots to look forward to, but I suppose we have to see.
Yeah.
Bethany.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Just the last thing, like before we go, because it's been good speaking about like Crohn's, Doctor Who, Autism a little bit. Is there like it could be related to either Crohn's or Doctor Who or both? Like, is there any like quotes or that you like, maybe from Doctor Who or advice for Crohn's you would like to say?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Maybe it's hard because there's lots in there. That you got from Doctor Who.
Like when you're put on the spot and you're like,
yeah.
Like literally, like when I was at my new job,
Hmm.
they put me on the spot and they're like, oh, what is your mom's phone number? And I know it by heart, right?
Yeah.
You know, for some reason I couldn't think of it because I was put on the spot. And I'm like, but I knew it. And then after the fact, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
what about Matt Smith's speech from when he was, I think it was that Rings of Accent episode where he was saying it, that long speech to that kind of fiery god thing. That was a good one.
My favorite was the quote from Amy to herself. He's the most beautiful man I ever met.
Yeah, I think that's
because it's when she realized, you know, I think sometimes we don't realize what we're feeling, you know, either for people or, you know, sometimes you're not sure. Am I really in love with this person? Do I really want to be with this person for the rest of my life? You know, and I feel like her going after the doctor was like her unsure. Even though she was marrying him the next day, it brought all this back. Like her feelings about like all these years she's been pining over the doctor, and then he finally shows up and is like, well, now or never. It's the last night. And I think she was always attracted to him, like maybe not when she was young, but like as she grew up, she remembered what he looked like. She was always like probably attracted to him. But he never came back, and she always thought he would.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason, was because she was still unsure. And even after they got married, she was still unsure, you know, for a while. And I think sometimes people aren't always sure, even if they get married. They're not always still sure.
Yeah.
You know? And a lot of people end up getting divorced because of that. And they did end up getting separated after a while because of the baby. But yeah, that's real life. And it felt like real life to me. You know, I could relate so much to her and her character. So that's why her quote will always be my favorite.
Yeah, I think that's
because she's my favorite character out of anyone that's ever been on the show.
Yeah, like Amy's choice. Like you can, like I agree.
The whole story was good the whole way through. It was always interesting, kept my attention. You know,
it's good that you have that like one character. Like you always remember that character. I
feel like Clara Oswald. She would always get too angry with the doctor sometimes, and she would be rude. And it's like, but you knew who he was. Like, why are you just now getting upset about it? You know, I don't know. She confused me a lot.
Yeah, I think I preferred her with Matt, even though it weren't for long. I preferred her with Matt than Peter, really. I think Peter had her for too long. I think, which was good. Like I think Bill should have been longer, really, because Bill wasn't there for long, was she? Because and then it was referenced later on after Pete Capaldi left. Bill was referencing stuff.
Yeah. I just thought that was like, it just was so touching when she said, you know, sometimes when you meet someone so beautiful and then you actually talk to them, 5 minutes later they're as dull as a brick. And then she's like realizing to herself, but then there's other people, you meet them and you think they're not bad, they're okay. And then you get to know them and their face just sort of becomes them. And like, That's what I've known, like, to be true my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Sometimes you look at someone and you're like, wow, that person, you know,
Yeah.
but then, yeah,
Yeah.
they're not intellectually there with you, or
Yeah. I think
they're boring, they don't do anything. But then other people, you're just like, okay, they're okay, you know. But then you get to know them and they're funny, they're fun, they're smart. And you're like, yeah, this is somebody that's more on my level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Because like you say, Doctor Who really impacts like and real
And it
life.
used to be impactful.
Mm,
I think Amy's season was the last one that really was impactful.
yeah, because it makes you really sad, didn't it? Like especially the leaving scene. Like it's like they're actually leaving, and ever
It's like
since
to
that,
see her love grow for
yeah,
Rory over the years, like of being with the doctor. Her love grew for him. And
yeah,
then she knew for certain, after a while, she knew for certain that she loved him, you know?
yeah.
And I think sometimes it takes a bit to know that. You don't always know that right away.
No. Do you remember that first episode with Rose? Like the first episode of New Who? When Rose got asked to go into the TARDIS, and she did, and she left Mickey, and then
Right.
still to this day, I think if I was Mickey, I would just be standing there, I'd be running after her, saying, "Where are you going?" um,
I think he knew.
yeah,
He didn't care. I mean, I think they weren't even on the same level. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, it's really, it
They
really
weren't there together. Like,
just a side
she
thing, really.
wanted to do other things and he didn't want to. So I feel like he always held her back,
He's a
you
quite
know?
an irrelevant character in a way, wasn't he? Like,
Not necessarily, because I don't know how to explain it to you.
I think because I loved Mickey as a character in that, um, but
He was a good person, but
yeah,
he wasn't the right one for her.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I know what you mean.
And so he ended up going with Martha, and they were more on the same level,
Yeah,
the same kind of person, you know. You want someone that's similar to you.
yeah, you do, don't you? Um, like, 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 like similar, like with Crohn's, it's nice when you meet people and know about it, or like have it themselves, um, because it makes you feel better. Like although it's not nice, it's not nice, but it's nice knowing that you know people that have it, um, isn't it? Because so you're not like you don't feel as alone.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we learned some today. Well, even before today, we've learned different things today, Bethany. Because I think it's been fun. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Have you?
Yeah, yeah, I have. Yeah, it's been
Good.
good. Definitely, we'll
Yeah, it's been good.
definitely do it again sometime. See how we're doing, like your brother was doing with Crohn's, or how I'm doing.
Right.
And definitely, well, thanks, Bethany.
Thank you. And you have a good day
Have a good
or
day.
night, whatever it is for you.
Yeah.
All right.